Welcome all to the FSHD Society radio show. I am your host, Tim Hollenbach, and I'm here yet again, another hot off the press episode, kind of a quick peek into what's going on with the FSHD Society, maybe news or events or big projects that we're going through right now. And we have a great guest in store for you on this episode. It is Amanda Hill. Some might know who she is and some others may not. She's been involved with the FSHD Society from a volunteer level for a while. We'll maybe start there, but let's introduce her in officially right now. Hey, how's it going, Amanda? Thanks for being here.
Hi, Tim. Thanks for having me. It's great to be here. Well, you kind of said a little bit. My name is Amanda Hill. I am one of the newest staff members at the FSHD Society. And I have actually had an interesting journey getting here that I wanted to share a little bit about. So I actually started off as a volunteer leader with the FSHD Society several years ago. I was helping to lead and organize our Colorado chapter and working with June Kinoshita on staff to write some articles here and there for the FSHD Society, and then also been involved with our walk and roll as well over the past several years. And now I'm here on staff, and I'm so excited to be here as a fully employed member of the society.
That is awesome. I mean, that's quite the development, right? I mean, you started the volunteer grassroots, but you know what it takes. You know how much the volunteers mean to our organization, and then transitioning into the role you're in now. I think we're all excited to know more of what they have in store for you and what that means. And I know you're not a stranger to FSHD Society beyond your volunteer work. I know, Justin has the disease, and that's been kind of your family push, right, to help us find a cure and treatments to this disease. So there's a personal side of it too. But what's kind of the first projects that they've set in front of you as you embark into your journey here as a staff member with the FSHD Society?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I'll back up a little bit. And I'll explain a little bit more about my role. So I am a director of research and patient engagement at FSHD Society. And where I'm coming in is I actually have quite a bit of experience. My professional experience and passion has always been in the realm of health and science. Professionally, what I've been doing over many years now is helping to manage and run clinical research and clinical studies. And I've worked quite a bit at kind of the intersection of the science with the patient community already, especially where it comes to, marketing clinical studies, communicating science to the patient community, et cetera. And so that's kind of what I will be doing here now with the FSHD Society. So my role, I mentioned June, and many of you probably know June. She's been with the society for so long, and she's done so much amazing work. My role is really an extension of what she's been doing and working on. We work together closely in this realm. So June's continuing her work in research and patient education and educating the patient community about science. I'm going to be a little bit more on the engaging in the research side of things. So helping get you all involved in the research process as more and more clinical studies and clinical trials come online now and in the near future. So where I'm kind of getting plugged in, I wanted to share a little bit about, you've probably heard us talk about, or when I say us, the FSHD Society talk about this new program called PACT, PACT, that is Patients Accelerating Clinical Trials. And this is kind of where my role is going to be most important and intersecting. So, 5 or so years ago, we started the Therapeutic Accelerator Program. And I know you all know about that. That was kind of where we were trying to figure out, how do we shorten the timeline to get treatments to patients? What barriers do we need to remove? And years ago, a lot of the work was being done in more of the basic sciences and preclinical space. Really, the researchers just needed to figure a lot of stuff out. But now we've progressed and changed, and we're in a place where we need to fill up clinical trials that are happening now and that are coming online in the very near future. And so now patients being engaged in that research process is super, super critical and important. Hence our new program, PACT, Patients Accelerating Clinical Trials. So we've got a few projects going on in this realm that I am working on and helping with now. I'm working with a really awesome team, obviously, at the Society, June being one of those, Lee, Jamshed, and others. And a couple of the projects under this umbrella include our genetic testing initiative, where y'all can get genetic testing done through this great pipeline that we've worked out. We have a patient registry that will be coming online next year, more to come on that. And then we have a great study happening right now, or I should say very soon, it will be launching very soon, called the True Cost of FSHD. And that is a health economics and outcomes research study as well. So those are some of the major things I'm working on to start, just a little bit.
Yeah. Just a little bit. I think they gave me quite a bit. Yeah, they gave me quite a bit. But it does feel like that because I heard a little bit of it talked about in Orlando, actually quite a bit of it talked about in Orlando as it was being brought up through the Connect conference. And then it kind of makes me feel like there's definitely a little bit of a anxiety, maybe is the right word, or maybe it's not, but of the need for patients to get involved. Like with these studies coming through, is there a concern that there's not going to be enough patient involvement as these studies keep coming, that we're not going to be able to fill them?
Yeah, that is a big part of why we launched this initiative. So, in the past, there's been more preclinical research happening, and this community responded amazingly and filled up studies like Resolve or Move. And what's happening now is that we have our first phase 3 clinical trial of an actual potential therapy, and we need a couple hundred patients to fill that. And there's going to be more and more of those coming. And, there might be, say there's 250 patients that's needed to fill a trial. Well, not any 250 people are going to actually meet these specific criteria needed for that trial. So we might actually need more like 1,000 folks who are willing to come in and give it a try, but maybe only 1 in 4 or so are going to actually qualify. So if you think about this, the numbers add up really quick. So you start getting 1, 2, or 3 or more studies going on at once, all of which need a lot of people to be willing to come in and try and see if they fit the criteria before they can actually fill up the numbers that they need. So this amplifies quickly. We think over the coming years, we're going to need actually many thousand patients to be able to successfully fill all of the clinical trials that are going to be coming online. So the time more than ever is now for our patient community to step up and say, I want to volunteer, I want to help. And that's kind of what we're doing with this PACT initiative, is trying to get everyone engaged and on board for that process.
So someone listening or watching right now, what would they need to do? What are the steps right now? And then what should they look forward to or look for as this moves forward in the PACT? What should they be doing now? What direction can you send them?
Yeah. So one of the most important things you can do right now is make sure we have your contact information through the website. Just fill out our contact form. Make sure we know if you are a patient, make sure that we know. You check that box that says, yes, I'm a patient. Let us know what your relationship is to the community. This is going to help us more directly target the right people for the right communications and the right studies moving forward. So that's an important first step. And you're also it'll also queue you up to be first in line for when we launch the registry, when more clinical trials launch and we're recruiting for those.
Gotcha.
That's going to let us know who you are and how you will be involved. The other thing that will be happening the first week of October, so coming very soon, we will be launching the True Cost of FSHD Survey. So this is a health economics and outcomes research survey. There's a whole field of research that is really going to help us prepare for the future scenario where hopefully in the near future, we have a treatment that's been successful in clinical trials and the regulatory agencies are working to get it approved. And what's going to happen is drug companies, insurance companies, government payers like Medicare, Medicaid, all of those organizations are going to need to understand the economic value of this drug so that they can make decisions about how to price it, who should get access to it, how insurance coverage and reimbursements are going to work. And so this particular survey is working to understand what we're calling the true cost of FSHD. We need to establish a really good baseline of what it actually economically costs to live with FSHD so that all those organizations can understand the value of a treatment once it's available. So that is something that, as I said, it will be coming. There's going to be a survey coming out the first week of October. And that is something that any patient can participate in. It's happening at kind of the household level. So
Mhm.
we'll have one response per household. So if there's more than one patient in a household, you just do one survey response and you count for everyone in your household there. But any age, any sort of progression, it doesn't matter. Anyone and everyone can participate in that.
So we're looking at basically two places that we should go to get involved. One is uh, make sure that we exist out there. Uh, Go online, go to fshtsdsociety.org and start. Is it through the PACT or is it just through regular general FSHD Society registry so that I'm a patient and whatnot, as you mentioned in the beginning there?
Yeah, I should know this. There's so it would be under the get involved header, and then I
Got it.
believe it's patient involvement. Yeah,
Got it.
get involved,
So
patient
go there.
involvement.
Yeah. And then
And
the other side, do they have to do something different for registering or saying that they're willing to participate in the survey?
yeah, so there's a
Cost
couple ways you could
efficiency?
do that one. There is also a link in that same area to join the True Cost of FSHD
Okay.
survey. So that'll get your email on a list where we will directly email that survey into your inbox. So as soon as it's available, you'll have the link in your inbox. But also, even if you don't do that or you don't find it, just keep an eye out on our website, on our social media, on your email inbox in general, because we're going to be marketing it very broadly and loudly that whole week. We want to educate the community about it. We want to get as many households involved as we can. So it'll be hard to miss if you just tune in a little bit in any of those channels. You'll see it.
Yes, I know. I'm just trying to, yeah, I'm walking through it like I'm the first person that's ever,
Yes.
on the website. And I wanted to make sure that from that viewpoint, like, where do I go? What would I want to do next? And you're
Okay.
right, it is that simple, just like Amanda's described to us all here. There is under get involved, and we can't get a better tab than that, right? Get involved. I mean, that's really what you're doing. And then go to patient involvement. And then there's also one in there. Yeah, that says the true cost of FSHD. Join that.
Yep.
It is very simple. I think I've already done the sign up for join the true cost part of it. That was really simple to get that ball rolling. And that starts in October. So you probably want that information gathered as quickly as possible
Yep.
here.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. I would say go do that right now. It's a quick and easy thing to queue yourself up so it's ready and in your inbox as soon as it's launched.
I found that this is becoming quite the push. It's not just necessarily through FSHD, but also in other therapeutic companies, that there's a really big push to get like patient involvement people, like in your role, like someone
Mhm.
that's hired to work on getting patients involved either with the therapy groups or the volunteer organizations like this and so forth. And also like that their voice is being heard,
Yes.
that the patient's voice is being heard, that these roles they're kind of brand new. Is that what you're finding as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I haven't had this exact title before,
Mhm.
but I was in a unique position because, professionally, I've been in this space in managing and doing administration for research. But then personally, I had this experience of being on the other side of it.
Yeah.
So I can't remember if I shared this already, Tim, but I think you alluded to it. My husband, Justin, has FSHD. So he was diagnosed about 6 years ago, and that's how I got so involved in the community.
Mhm.
So I do have this really unique experience, and I love that I have it because I've been on both sides. Like I know how the research works and what has to happen in the science world, but I know what it's like to be on the other side of that as a patient, as a family, as a loved one, and to like, why can't you guys go faster? I need my voice heard. Like, did you
Right.
know XYZ is important to us?
Yeah.
And so there's a huge push from the FDA, from the NIH, from a lot of different places that patients need to become much more central to the entire research process. And I think researchers and drug companies are all realizing that importance. And so it's great. I mean, there's a really wonderful intersection of things happening right now for this patient community, and that we have drugs coming up. We have this new push where everyone is realizing we need to make sure the patient voice is really, really heard and understood. And we're in a unique position to make sure we do that now, at kind of the most important time in our drug development process. So that's very cool.
Yeah, and the fact that you are going through these processes is a sign of that hope. of treatment. It must be
Yes.
somewhat closer than ever if we're already talking about, well, what would the drug cost?
Yes. Yep. I
Right?
mean, we're trying to get out ahead of
Yeah,
it, but yes,
of course.
absolutely. I mean, our moonshot goal, as we've been saying, is 2025. That is our hope and our goal. And I think it's possible. I truly do. So that is what we are looking forward to, just a couple years away.
And with your background professionally, and you saying that there's hope, you see that there's hope, that means a lot. That's you've walked the walk. So it's coming not from some just out of nowhere. This is someone that has some experience within this realm, and hearing you say that does give us all good hope, positive hope. So that's great to hear. Unless I missed something, Amanda, is there anything else you want to add before we let you go?
I don't think so. I guess I would just say, thank you to this patient community. I mean, you all have been there for me and my husband, and have really helped us through, our journey, FSH journey. And I'm just very honored to be here and be able to serve everyone, back. It's kind of a nice,
A full circle moment.
circle.
Yeah.
Yes, full circle. Thank you.
I love it. And we're very grateful to have you aboard. Sounds like another great person in our corner to fight the good fight with us. So thank you very much for your time today, but time going forward, and what you're putting into this means a lot to all of us. Thank you much.
Likewise. Thank you, Tim.